the camera is.
Yeah.
I know, because I always start watching you guys. Oh, we're live.
Hey, there we are. Oh, no, we're not. That's yesterday's. I'm just checking on my phone.
Yeah, it's slight delay, so they'll hear us in just a minute.
There we are. Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hey, we sound like Eurovision Song Contest. Good evening.
Hello, Luxembourg.
Hello. Hello, Germany.
Hello, Lanzarote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
Yes, point.
Uno, one. Oh dear.
You know what? I've got some friends that do like they have this night every time there's a Eurovision Song Contest on, and they do this like shots game. And I've never understood how it works. They told me about it for years, but they all get completely slaughtered doing these shots on the Eurovision Song Contest. I think it's like however many points.
Oh God, no.
They have this.
Shot.
It's like the opposite, like shots, and they just end up in such a state. It's so funny.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I'd be on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no good with shots. Right. Yeah. Is it working in the group? I wonder.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's working.
It is. You can see it. I'll go and come back again then. Thank you. I have a cup of tea.
Oh,
We are live.
jealous.
I keep getting it flash up. There's a member request,
Oh,
but I can't into the group, but I can't see one when there. So I take it one of you guys have okayed it, have you? It's fine. It's not a problem. It's just it keeps flashing up that there's one there.
Oh yes, I added somebody from me earlier. So it could
That's
have
cool.
been that.
Maybe it was that one.
I can't see anybody waiting that I can see. No.
Yay! Here we are. I can see it.
we're
I
there.
can see we're live. Yeah, I can see. All
Someone's
is good.
laughing at her.
Might be Exton. He's out in the hall.
Sarah Quinton. Sarah, you've just sent us a friend request. Sent me a friend request. Thank you. I'll respond to that.
There we go.
Well,
I feel loved. Thank you very much.
there you go.
I don't know what she's laughing about. Maybe either that Danielle's got her pajamas on, or
Probably. I don't think they heard that bit, but now
oh,
they
did we not
did.
broadcast that? Well, Danielle might have her pajamas on. You never know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I do.
Maybe
I'm an hour
it's the
ahead of you
Eurovision Shot
guys.
Contest.
Yeah, the Eurovision
Yeah.
contest bit.
Dear, got a laugh.
Definitely.
You know what? I've got completely disorganised now because of my complete carnage today, running around because today is dressage training day. So dressage training day. Yesterday was galloping, so galloping was easy and you get it done pretty quick. But today is dressage training day, and it went on for much longer than I anticipated. I was like, oh God, horses got too hot, got to cool down, etc. Got to stretch. It's like being an athlete and then having another athlete attached to you, isn't it?
Oh no, have you lost my camera?
No, I can still see you.
Oh, it's showing up as mine as it wasn't there, but never mind.
So now I've got my notebook and everything in the car, so I'm going to be completely winging it tonight. So you have to remind me what I know we're talking about target market and everything tonight, aren't we? And
Yeah.
how people are they really talking to their ideal customers? And it's all about niche, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about people identifying with what it is you do, you know, making that clear message out there.
Yeah, definitely. So who have we got
What's your
on?
business voice? What's your niche market?
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose, you know, the process that we've been through with our own sort of niche market. Fraser, do you want to expand on some of the stuff that you've done with your guys in coaching on niche market? Do you find that people are still coming to you with a very broad market, or
Yeah, they
how do you
are.
find it?
Yeah, because I think people are afraid of narrowing it down because they want to potentially attract anybody to their business.
Yeah.
They don't want to leave, anybody out potentially.
Yeah.
But that's not the point really. And when you explain what it's about, when you target your niche market, when you think about your customer avatar, you're really, what you're doing is you're getting clear on your message.
Yeah.
You're really getting clear on what you stand for. And when you get clear on what you stand for and what your message is, then it becomes really easy to find out what your target market might be. Then it becomes clear on what your customer avatar looks like. Now, if you don't know what a customer avatar is, that's okay. We can go into that more. But identifying what you stand for and who your perfect customer, client, person you want to work with looks like makes it much, much easier to then broadcast your message and market yourself. And, you know, for me, for example, my customer avatar would be parents who are, fathers rather, who are desperate to work from home, desperate to have a better life for their families. And if I really want to fine tune it and narrow it down, I would then aim at guys who live in the UK, who want to emigrate, they're in a job, right?
Yeah,
but they can't think what they want to do if they move abroad. They don't have any skills. That was me 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And when you're clear on that message, it becomes much easier to then go out and just market yourself. And that doesn't mean that other people aren't going to be attracted to you. I've got many people that I work with, coach, had in my team in the past that are women, that are retired, that have jobs, that don't want to emigrate. The exact opposite. It doesn't matter.
I think that's the key, though, isn't it? With what you're saying, you've really defined who it is you're looking for, and by doing that, it's opened it up to other people, without even realizing you've attracted that whole market. But by being really clear on who it is you're seeking, it's brought in that whole, package.
It keeps the door open for everyone, because it's more about you getting clarity on what you want, what you stand for, your marketing.
Yeah, definitely.
And rather than spreading the net wide, I want to keep everyone happy, right? Well, you can't really do that. So
I suppose as well, there's almost like a subconscious element with that as well, because you can be thinking about, or you can, like you said, with your target market, but we might have, or you might have ladies out there that actually still really want to emigrate and do the same thing, or they might have family members that have done so. So in that way, they still connect with you and your message and what you're trying to portray, and that, that ultimate sort of lifestyle, if you like, or of how they can be. So there's so many different aspects to a niche market as well. It's not just directly at that person, is it?
They can relate to you and what you've achieved and what you want to help others achieve, and they can fit it into their own circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what you just said as well, Fraser, finding your niche isn't necessarily about just for your client. It's absolutely for yourself, because if you go out trying to drag in everybody, you're trying to people please all the time, and you can't possibly do that. Whereas if you give yourself that clear, vision of where you need to go, other people will come in. It's not just going to stay towards that, but if you're giving yourself that clear vision, the direction you want your business to go and who you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. It's about you, the business owner. It's not actually about your customer, your client.
Yeah, definitely. So that sort of brings us an interesting way about, doesn't it? Because if we're talking about that element of it being more about you, but then helping your client connect with you on that level, it's almost like, it just is we're always, I suppose, looking for that point of how to help our customers, how to serve our customers, how to provide them with the product or service that they need. And that really brings an interesting story about, doesn't it? So I think with for everybody, and especially, and I was thinking about this last night and thinking about, like people with e-commerce stores. And I know, Fraser, you're into that market as well. How would somebody, for example, create their customer avatar for an e-commerce store? Because they're not necessarily going to be putting themselves out there so much. It's more about the products and stuff in the store. So would you have any tips for people in that sort of situation?
Yeah, e-commerce is a little bit different, I think. I think e-commerce is, well, there are two ways to do it. You can have a niche store or a
Yeah.
niche store if you're in America, you know, and work around that and try and, you know, pick a niche and stick to it. But most people will start with a general store with general products, and that means anything, and try and find what the niche is once they find a product that sells. So it becomes more about, I think when you're in e-commerce, it's not about you as the person, the marketer behind it, because you're never seen. Nobody sees you. They do see your website and your storefront, and it's more about finding problem-solving products.
Yeah, and I
And when you
suppose
find
then, go on, sorry.
yeah, go on. Yeah, I was just
Well, I
going to
was
say,
going to say,
when you find a problem-solving product, then what you can do is you can absolutely, you know, do well with that product, and then you can build a niche store around that.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah, I
build
think
it out
that's
that way. But it's a kind of a different thing because e-commerce, you're never seen. You know, you're behind the scenes. So traditional business isn't really like that. It's kind of different, really. They're two different things.
Yeah, but I suppose in a way, if you think about it, though, the brand and the feel of the e-commerce store is what connects that person with the product. Then, after all, isn't it? You know, it may not be you as the person directly there, but it's like a lot of the big brands now that people want to go and buy from. They don't know the person, you know, like even things like, you know, the top designers like Gucci and, you know, those big names. People don't necessarily anymore know the face behind the name, because the face might not even be there anymore. They might have passed on, you know. So it's
and that's on another level. That's when it becomes a brand. You know, when you've built a successful business, then you can brand it properly. And
exactly,
absolutely.
So I suppose, like you said, you know, with e-commerce, it's got to be about the problem solving rather than, you know, focusing on your kind of customer avatar. Because I suppose, again, you know, Fraser, it's your thing, but I suppose it's looking at the problems and how you can solve it rather than looking at the person.
Yeah, definitely. And who have we got on at the moment?
We've got a question, by the way.
Okay.
So I'm Emma. I think she means MLM, network marketing.
Oh yeah,
I'm so slow. It is network marketing. It's NWM, which is network marketing. Do you find a niche for both customers and distributors because they are probably not the same?
Well,
good question, by the way. That's
it's a really powerful question, and I would say it all kind of depends. No, because a lot of the people I went for my customer base were people that I would see as a good business owner as well. That being said, you know, obviously I didn't just go for, you know, that, but that was always my focus. The way that I built the business was kind of looking, you know, with MLM, with network marketing, you can either market just the product or you can, you know, market the product and invite people on. But I was really focusing on bringing people first through the products, and then as they're, you know, using the products and stuff, moving them onto the business. So I would say no, keep them the same. I don't know what your guys' views is.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say the same, because it's almost like if you have two different types, then you're going to have a mixed message. Aren't you? And I think it's very important, like, you know, for me with the horse team, it was all horse owners, it was all people that were involved with horses as distributors, but also people that were buying the products. So I know Sarah's with Utility Warehouse, so, you know, for her to find a niche market, and it's going to take a lot of work from you, you know, sort of looking to the inside, you know, who you want to be and how you're going to attract people to working with you, because it's utilities, isn't it? So, you know, that it is a different, slightly different kettle of fish from most network marketing businesses, for sure, because you don't have that same product. So say, for example, if you were looking at some of the weight loss companies, you know, people, you have the weight loss products, you then have people that are coming on as business owners that are interested in the weight loss products. So they sort of marry up a little bit more. So I can understand why you've asked that question. So yes, it's definitely a good one, but I would most certainly work on your niche in your target market with that, and then really just stick to that and really work it for a good time to just test it and see if you're on the right track with it. And, you know, if it doesn't work, then you try something slightly different, don't you?
Good advice.
Yeah, just really visualize who it is you want to sell to, who it is you want on your business, you know, really get a clear vision of that particular person. I mean, yeah, it can be done with anything. So utility warehouse, I don't know a huge amount about utility warehouse because I'm out in the sticks here, but I'm guessing that's to do with your stuff in your house.
Yeah, your
like
gas and your electric. Yeah, definitely.
I think the network marketing company people choose is normally aligned to something that they want to do and maybe are passionate about. Maybe utility is not something you're passionate about, but you know, for example, if I was passionate about helping people like me in my situation, fathers who want to emigrate, I'm not going to choose a skincare MLM which is, you know, geared towards women, and it's probably something I wouldn't want to be involved in anyway. But just have a think about that, and if you're not married to your opportunity, if you're not in love with the company that you're with in MLM, you can always change, right? But the most important thing is that you are aware of who your target market is, your niche, and hopefully the company you're with aligns with that as well. It just so happens if you're in a utility company, then great, everybody needs them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
you
perfect.
can go down any kind of path with that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely perfect.
Because I think you've got quite a clear path, haven't you, from a distributor perspective? You know, and the niche there, you know, to me, it would be quite a clear path, and I think I would be, you know, I'd work on that area. But it's always the same, isn't it, when we talk about branding, when we talk about niche markets, or whatever we're talking about within marketing for yourself in business, it's like attracts like, isn't it? So, you know, you probably really have to look deep inside and look at all the reasons, you know, maybe brainstorm and write them down, every single reason why you joined that particular MLM. Yeah, we love a good brainstorm. You know, write them all down, even if it takes you a few days to do it, because you might sit there and think, write a few things down and then go,
top tip for that is on a whiteboard. I literally, when I'm in the right mood, I get my big whiteboards out and I start brainstorming. And sometimes I can be doing that for a whole week before I get any one step further. You know, and I love it because you can write it up, you can take it out straight away, you can put extra little bits on. So that's definitely my top tip. I am a massive fan of whiteboards. I've got my whiteboard right.
Me too. Right, I think that goes back to our MLM days, isn't it?
I know. I used to get the rolls that you used to put all over the walls.
Stick on the wall.
I can't do that now because the Spanish walls don't seem to be the same. It doesn't stick.
Brilliant, I love it. But the other thing that my old business coach used to do, and that was the first sort of introduction to brainstorming that I had outside of a notebook, because you know, that's always my default position from art college, I think. But he used to do Post-it notes, and so every time he had an idea, he used to stick a Post-it note on his wall in his office, and then there was another one and another one and another one and another one. And then he'd go in and he'd look at all these Post-it notes, and he just would literally go through them and go, right, okay, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And that worked quite well because you could scrape all those elements in and you've just got this big group of sort of immediately relevant points, but you haven't lost the other things there as well. So, you know, you could keep those there for a further time. You know, you used to just scrape them off the wall and chuck them into like a shoebox or something. You know, but it did work really well. So there's loads of different ways you can do that. But I would definitely say peel it really back and look back into why you're starting, you know, and all the story behind that, and think about how you can connect with people on that front.
Definitely. Yeah.
So have we got
Tamara is watching too, but she's having issues commenting at the minute.
Oh no. Debbie, are you with Tamara then? Are you together, or she messaged you to say, Sarah says, thanks guys, I have a good idea now. That's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Yeah. What else did we want to talk about with regards to niche? The voice and the branding as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, the branding is important because the styling of your branding, you know, is it going to be a serious sort of branding? You know, the typefaces from your fonts and the lettering that you use, you know, that can have a more serious tone to it. But if it's got more, you know, colours, whether it's exciting, whether it's subdued, you know, again, I think
all that's going to come from, like, you know, from whoever you're targeting your business
definitely.
towards.
Yeah.
You know, if it's going to be young people, you want something funky. You need to kind of work that out. Once you've found that bit out, the rest can kind of follow, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. and in Canva as well, you can create a brand palette, can't you? You know, and that I found quite useful for people too, because I think you get one brand palette, don't you, with a free version of Canva, but with a page you can have as many as you want. So there's lots of examples out there, and you can actually look at different brand palettes, and they'll give you examples of sort of swatches of colour that go well together and groups of fonts that go well together. So you don't have to panic and think, oh my God, you know, I really love red, yellow and blue, but I know my target market aren't red, yellow and blue. As you know, it's different thing. There's so much out there to already help you get on that.
You don't need to be very technical either with Canva. No, it's really easy. No, it's so simple.
Canva is very simple. And if any of you guys don't know what we're talking about, I know a few of you were at the networking event a few weeks ago when Caroline was talking about the free tools that we've got that we can use for our businesses. But so you might have picked that up then. But if you haven't, then it's Canva, CANVA.com. And it's a brilliant design tool. You can create pretty much any graphic you want in there, everything from social media posts to Facebook headers to ebooks, logos, you name it. And they've got, within that, they've got examples of every single thing you can possibly imagine, and you can select one and you can make it your own. So, you know, you can switch it around with your brand colours, you can change the fonts, you can add your own photos in. There's so much you can do with that. In the group, for the guys that are new, there's a full Canva training, and then there's a word swag training as well. That's a similar sort of thing, but an app for your phone that you can go in and watch. I think it's quite a short one, but it'll give you all the ideas of everything that you can do with that. And then, you know, you've got great ideas then of how to just bring everything together and keep it looking really professional. And
yeah, exactly. And as long as you're doing that and taking action as well. You know, I fell into the trap at some point of spending far too long getting people to design logos and then doing Canva posts and word swag, and these things are great, but don't hide.
They're not going to make money.
Yeah,
a lot of people hide behind Canva posts and inspirational quotes and all that. These are great, but they have to be used in moderation and with an actual action plan of talking to people and marketing your business. That's one part of the marketing, isn't it? But what's, you know, and keeping the colors consistent. Yeah, I'm a big believer in that also. Yeah, the type, the font, to keeping it consistent, absolutely. But remember, the biggest selling point in your business is you.
Without doubt.
You know, it's you. So don't hide behind the camera. You know, don't. I did that for quite a while, and it cost me a bit of time in my business. Again, this is stuff you learn, isn't it, when you go on?
Yeah.
Oh, of
But
course.
I'm not saying don't do it, but you know,
Yeah.
you've got to have a kind of balance between all of these things. Those
Yeah.
two tools are my favorite tools of all time.
Yeah,
And
and
WordSwag is
mine.
great because you can use it on your phone. It's so fast. You can just,
Yeah.
Great when you're on the go, definitely.
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, it's bringing stuff together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Katie just said love Canva now. Yeah, everybody loves Canva. Yeah, everybody loves Canva.
And it's pretty much free, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it is, you know, it's such, you've got access to everything there, haven't you? So it just brings everything together in one place. But yeah, just be wary of the fact that you can lose days in Canva if you're not careful.
With that, again, like what I tend to do, because I am the worst for going on Canva and WordSwag, because I love it all. I love that creative side of things. So what I have to literally do is, and I do it because otherwise I just get lost in it, is I structure out my day. If you know, depending on what I'm working on, I will literally give myself the time periods where I'm working on this and I'm working on that, and when that time's up, that's over. You know, you have to look at it really kind of strictly. I do, and I know it definitely works for me, because otherwise I would just sit. It's like scrolling through Facebook. You know, once you go scrolling through, a cute little video of a dog comes up, and I'm like, oh, look at that. Sit watching it, and suddenly you've lost 30 minutes of your life, and you're like, what? So you have to be really strict with your time. You know, when you're not working, you know, that's fine if you want to do that in your extra time. I also do that, but in my working hours, when I've set my working hours, that's when I need to then just focus. I've got, you know, 45 minutes that I'm allowed to go through to Canva. Time's up. Okay, move on.
Here's a really good tip on that. So can I just finish on that point? And I'm the world's worst for this. So again, I've had to learn this stuff. There's a great book out there called Eat That Frog.
Oh, yes.
Right? For procrastinators. For people who can't get the job done. Brian Tracy, I think it is.
Yeah, that's right.
In a nutshell, basically, it would tell you to write a list of the tasks that you have to complete that day. And then don't, put them in any order, write them down, and then write them on a separate list in order of priority. And not just order of priority, but order of what's the most ugly, horrible job I have to do, like eating that frog, and do that one first. Most people would leave that till the end. Do that first, then do the second most ugly, horrible. It might be your taxes or something, and leave the nice Canva design till the end. When
so you're finishing on a high as well.
Yeah, exactly. That is the best piece of advice I could ever give anyone.
I've got a free tool actually that I use. Well, it's not. You can use it as a free tool, and it's quite useful. It's something my colleague shared with me, and it's all about setting yourself the tasks. And you can literally have it online, and you can have your different tasks that you're doing and set them, like you've just said, as priority. You can put time, date on it, and once I'm a really visual kind of person, so once it goes over or it's near to the time, it changes colour, and I hate that. So I'm like, oh no, I've got to get that done. And I'll put the link in the bottom on this feed at the end. I'll put the link in for it. It's called Asana.
Perfect.
Oh yes, yes, I have heard about that as well. Trello is quite good as well, isn't it? And somebody mentioned to me a week or so ago something I heard about a long time ago, and it's called the Pomodoro method. Yeah. And it's all to do with tomato segments or something like that. So so basically you have like the 25 minutes, half an hour to do each task. But I think there's a really good app that goes with it as well. So, and I thought that actually is probably
that's very, very good actually. And you can go into that in a lot more detail, but basically it also helps you to have some downtime. And some like an on ramp to your work, and then do the work, and an off ramp. It's a little bit technical, but just giving yourself time away to just 5 minutes, go and refresh, stand outside, whatever, and come back and do it. Brilliant tool.
And I think that's we've gone off on a bit of a tangent here, but I love it. It's great. Chunking, I think, is one of the first things that I used within the business as well. So sort of, chunking all those jobs together the same, especially when you can creating, social media content for businesses and things like that. The graphics all together, the copy all together, the posting and the scheduling all together, because it does take time for your brain to switch, doesn't it, between the different tasks. So if you were constantly doing graphic, copy, post, graphic, copy, post, graphic, copy, post, it would probably take you 3 times as long as if you got it all planned out beforehand and you did all your graphics, all your copy, and then posted it all, and then scheduled it.
Yeah,
so that,
definitely.
it's just a simple
It's finding
thing.
an effective way that works, something that is just keeping your life as simple as possible, because you get lost in it. It's so easy to happen, so easy just to suddenly realise how much time you've wasted on something, and you've not moved any further forward. So definitely having that kind of structured time of all the tips that like you both have been sharing as well, and throw it into something that works for you.
Yeah. And has anybody got any questions?
We do have a little bit of a delay still, so
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
try your
looking at that.
questions in there. And if you're watching the replay, type in replay as well. Don't forget to do that.
If you have any
And add in
questions
You'll
there.
get to your questions.
We had a
I was
good few
watching
people
on
jump on as the replay, so yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. I'm watching myself throw my arms around, so I'm obviously still chatting.
But there's loads of tools out there, loads of apps out there, desktop apps, mobile apps that you can use to just help you to streamline your business and be more productive and creative. And most of them are free. A lot of these have paid versions that you can use. But yeah. But you touched a wee bit on we talked about it last night, the daily method of operation, your favourite thing, Justina. And
I love this daily method of operation. It is the dawn.
She's throwing it out there so much now. It's just sliding out of her mouth.
She loves it.
It only took me 2 weeks to be able to say it.
Daily method of operation. For some people who've not heard of that term, it's just a strategy that you have every day to tackle your business. And, I'd love people to comment on this right now, or if they're watching the replay, struggle. If that's something you struggle with, type in struggle. It's one of the biggest things I see, and it really frustrates me. And not even a daily method of operation, but people oftentimes don't have actual longer term marketing plans or any kind of business plan. And they wonder why they don't have a daily method of operation. So that's something that, that we can certainly help people with kind of offline, is to structure things more, because it is hard. It's like walking into a gym with all this equipment and access to this equipment, but not knowing how to use it.
Definitely.
I use that analogy. Did I say that last night? Because I say that a lot. But yeah, imagine if people start new businesses and it is all new. It's a lot to take in. So it's normal that you might struggle with that,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I was having a bit of a chat with Tamara today on Messenger, and Tamara has definitely got to come on to tell her story. I'm not going to let her skip off on this one. She's spent
I love that. Brilliant. I can't wait.
She's got an amazing story. She spent a lot of time in Thailand and India. And I'm not going to ruin the story by telling you anything about it, because it's so intriguing. But, Tamara has been in a situation where she's been utilising her skills and then working within a different environment in another country. But now she's obviously bringing that back into something that she wants to do for herself whilst being based in the UK. So now she's got all these thoughts, and she's got to go through all the process of branding herself, her niche market, finding her voice and, her own business voice and everything. So, and I think the other thing that can help people as well find their niche is to actually tell their story and write their story. Even if it, like Tamara saying, like, where do I start? But as you guys know, we've been working on this little document for a while, for just giving people some structure and some guidelines as to how to tell a story and the critical elements of it, so that they've got those guidelines to help them get started. Because otherwise, most people can sit there and just get this massive writer's block and go, "Oh my God, where do I start?" But I think an initial step is to literally just write it all down and write it, or type it if you feel better that way. But you know, most times it's writing it, and it doesn't matter if it goes on and on and on and on, because you can go back in and you can strip it out. You can find the real powerful elements.
Reading it back, yeah.
And you might find something in there that you think, actually, that's going to really connect with people along the way. You know, it's a great way of just helping you find your voice. Or even sometimes, again, mentioning my old coach again, Jules, you know, he used to use, whatchamacallit. I'm not got very wordy again.
Whatchamacallit, that's a good one.
Whatchamacallit, you know, those funny little voice recorder things.
Voice recorders. I used to use those. Because what I used to do, and just quickly, sorry, I know I'm interrupting, right. But what I used to do is, obviously I was here in Spain, and I used to run, you know, my business over with a lot of people who are in the UK. So I used to voice record, and they'd be the same block, you know, I'm saying, you know, you need to get, you know, whole story out there, you know, share it with somebody, even just sharing it with somebody close to you. And they're like, oh, I don't want to share it with anybody. Can I just send it to you? Anyway, so we used to do all the voice activation, and they used to just then send them over for you to listen to. And I think that is also really important, because having, you know, somebody you know you can trust and send it over to and let them hear it, they'll pick out bits that you wouldn't have even noticed.
Yes, definitely. That's a really good point, actually, because it is, you know, some things that you just get so used to thinking about
for you.
Thinking about or talking about could actually be something that really connects with people, couldn't it?
Yeah, and that's what you're trying to do with that. You're trying to find the connection.
Yeah. Have you got a parrot?
Me? No, it's the dog.
Oh.
She's dying to come in and sit with me, and I've put her out now so she can stay. She's not outside. I'm not, you know, even though it's not cold, so even if she was outside, it'd be fine. But no, she's just, I have one of my dogs that literally is on my lap all the time, and she was last night on my lap. So tonight I said no.
Yeah, my dog was with me as well last night. I don't know where she's gone tonight. She's cleared off.
My worry is that I let her in, and then at the end she started barking. Don't get me wrong, she timed it well, but at the end she started barking. So I was like, tonight's not happening. You're going out, and now she's just disturbing me anyway. Can't win.
So, do we think there's anything else that we want to cover on?
I think it's just that you know you really get your tasks sorted out with having a real breakdown of who your niche market is too. You know exactly. Get your avatar clear, you know, really focus on who it is you want. Sorry, I suddenly keep burping, not that you want to hear that. Getting really clear on your vision of who you want to sell to, who are you doing this for, who are you doing this for to help. Once you've got that, you can then move through the stages. We've got a survey as well, which I'll post up into the group either straight after this or it'll be first thing in the morning. Obviously I finish a bit later, so I will put it in today or early tomorrow morning, and that will help break down, you know, who your message is for. Yeah,
I think that'll be really useful for everyone, won't it? Right, are there any more questions?
Just to touch on that point, you know, again, that identifying your avatar and what you stand for and your message and all of that stuff. We do that for a reason, right? It helps you not just to market yourself, but it gives you authority. When you're trying to please everybody, when you're trying to just, well, who do you want to be your customer avatar? Who do you want to work? Well, everybody. Well, what's your message? Well, I want to please everybody. Well, it doesn't really work. But when you're clear on what you stand for and what your business is about, yes, you can reach out to anybody, but it just gives you that authority. People want to work with people who they know, like, and trust. We keep saying that. It's so true. The opportunity that you have, if it's a network marketing company, is often secondary. I know it was when I started. You know, it wasn't the company that I was sold on. It wasn't the aloe vera based products that I fell in love with. It was really the person that introduced me. I thought, I want to work with that woman because she's kind of talking my language, you know.
Well, that's why you listen in the first place. You can have the most wonderful products or the, you know, whatever. you're not going to listen to that person unless they've got that special something about them that drags you in. You know, whether they can be selling anything. If you've got that clear vision, somebody else is going to see that, and they're going to really want to jump on board and be part of it or buy your product from you.
Yeah. I think it could have been any company that she was promoting, you know, within reason. But, you know, if it was a utility company, then great, I would have joined it. People join people that they want to work with normally. So that's great. And also remember that once you've got that clear, that if you're in network marketing or any business right now, there are other income streams out there. There are other ways to make money online, and, you know, always be open-minded to that, because that can happen as well. But when you're all about your company, when you're all about Forever Living or whichever company you're with and nothing else, then you're kind of stuck there. You've got to keep, you know, you've got to brand yourself and be the person that people want to work with.
Yeah, what I sort of started to do when I started to leave doing my MLM was that I started to brand myself, obviously as a separate away from it. But then I used to still do my MLM beside it. So I did health and fitness coaching, and I did a lot of yoga stuff as well. And I'd have like different packages for that. So I'd do a package that was just me, you know, me being as a support, me taking you through the system. And then I would have a package where I can do the exact same thing, but you can have product as well. So that's another idea that maybe you can kind of create. I'm not sure how you would do it with utility. I can't even remember the name. I'm so rubbish at names. Utility warehouse.
Utility warehouse,
Yes, sorry. I was just reading Katie's comment there. She says, I have an e-commerce. I've always found it hard to say who my niche is. This has helped me think about it more clearly. Though tomorrow's task is to brainstorm. Yeah, Katie, brilliant.
Yeah,
you know where I am as well.
Get it out of your head, because that's we keep it in there too much. You know, we keep all the information, and it just boggles around, and we cannot get a clear vision of it because it's just an absolute overload. Once you've released it and you've put it on a board or even on a piece of paper on your computer, there's also software you can use for that, and I can't remember the name, but I will remember and put that in as well. For brainstorming, it's you know, such a kind of eye-opener once you've done that process. And I'm looking forward to people who are going to do it tomorrow to share how they feel again with us tomorrow evening.
Yeah,
that'd be quite.
And I think it's quite. I hope you won't mind me saying, Katie, but you know, we were talking about, as we're working on her website and building her website at the moment, and we were looking at the elements that are going to be on the front page. And you know, yesterday we were talking about. You know, whatever it is that's earning you the most money, do more of. And, you know, some of the things that's earning the better earners for Katie at the moment are her workshops that she's actually doing within her studio, the gift parties and things like that as well. So that, again, it's I think you've inadvertently branded yourself in a way, because you put yourself in there and you put that bit of your personality in there that people have actually connected to. And so it's just with the e-commerce store now, we can sort of develop on that and grow on that, and then build your social media presence, if you like, around that a little bit more to give you that stronger presence. Because I think within the niche that Katie's in with gifts, it's very it is very personal, isn't it? You know, and the type and the style of gifts that Katie's doing. It's almost a bit like, I got the feel when I went to Katie's place the other week, and it's almost like that personal shopper element to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that could be really capitalized on. But yes, branding yourself, especially if you are in an MLM, is so important, isn't it? You know, and that is the connection to the story. It's not just about colors and logos and everything else.
It's about you.
Yeah, definitely. Sarah's just commented, brilliant, I know I need to do this, and you're giving me the push I need to do to get it sorted. Fantastic. So I hope you guys feel confident in the fact that, you know, you can share this within the group. If you want to brainstorm a little bit more, if you've got ideas that start to bumble around, really feel free to post those in the group, because you'll get input, not just from us guys, but also from people in the group, who ultimately could be your customers as well. So, but please feel free and confident to know that you can do that, and you will have the support from everybody. So even if you've got a few ideas and you think, I don't really like that one, but I really like that one, just put them in there and see what feedback you get. You can even put a poll in if you like. I don't mind. It's, it's there for you, ultimately. So
and people must realize that this is not, sometimes you watch these kinds of trainings, Facebook Live training like this, whatever it is, and you come away and you think, that was really valuable. I hope it was valuable anyway. And I got a lot from that, but I'm still stuck. How do I put it together? I want someone to hold my hand. I need some more guidance. Please, everybody, know that that will happen. Right?
Yeah.
That this does not end on Friday. That we will continue with this, and there will be things in place to help people, to guide them, to hold their hands, and you've not to worry about that, because I know how that feels. You guys know how it feels. You can watch the best training in the world, but then the next morning when you sat at your desk, you're on your own again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you say last night? How did So we're going to come up with a lot of really cool stuff to help people and to guide them going forwards.
Yes, definitely. Hi Adele. Debbie has just commented for tomorrow, and she said, I would also go and brainstorming tomorrow. So many ideas. That is right, that in your head is probably not place to keep all those ideas. Yeah, definitely. And I'm talking a lot about Jules tonight. Hey Jules, I know you're in the group, but I know you're in South Africa, so you're missing all this, but I'd love it if you get back from South Africa and want to jump on before the end of this. Your golden nuggets would be amazing. But when I first started having coaching with Jules, oh my God, 10, 11, maybe 12 years ago, one of the first things that he said to me was, have a notebook by your bed. Because he said, I guarantee that you'll wake up and you'll have dreamt about something, thought about something, or something along those lines that actually could be something really important for you. And just make sure that as soon as you wake up, you write it down. Because as soon as you've got up and you've got to clean your teeth, the kid starts wanting X, Y, Z, you run it, it's gone. And
it's always just before I go to sleep. It's where all my ideas come to me just before I go to sleep. I actually set myself, I do loads of voice notes because I'm terrible for it. I'm lying in bed, I'm like, bing, idea. I'm like, Danielle, you've got to go to sleep. So I grab my phone quickly and I set myself loads of voice notes. Awful. It's the worst time, the time I think most.
Jules, what's your name? Justina. You introduced me to Jules. Do you remember?
I did, yes. Yeah.
And he became, when you told me I've got this amazing life coach, he's called Jules, and I thought, my goodness, how precious are you, Justina? You've got a life coach. Honestly, I thought, wow. And then I employed his services, and he just knocked my socks off. He was amazing. Big shout out to Jules. And
I'm left out here. Jules, me and you need to hook up.
Yeah,
you should.
Yeah, you love Jules. He's hilarious.
And that was at a point in my life that I could least afford coaching of any description. And he came into my life and he helped me, and I've never been without a coach since then.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think that's a brilliant point to make there, though. Absolutely. Like the big point to make is the fact that like you can be doing whatever you want, and however deep and long you are into your journey with this, it's so important to have a coach. It's so important to have somebody to guide you and help you. Because it's something that is always changing, it's always developing, and just having somebody there is like absolute key to anybody's success. I still get coaching. I know you guys still get coaching. We've always got somebody there. And I think that's something that it's missed so much. When you start a business, you're like, right, I can do this. I can get, I can do all the training and stuff. But training is absolutely great, but it's important to have a coach along the way as well. My dog is driving me mad tonight.
And I mean, the reason why I started with Jules to start with, I can't even actually remember how we met. I don't know if he came to me for massage. So I do know it was through my friend Kathy Tyndall. I think she's in the group as well. She's always been a big MLM girl, and she's done all sorts of stuff. She's got some brilliant businesses. She introduced me to Jules. Jules came from massage, and I wasn't looking for a coach or anything at that time, but he was there having his back done and everything else, and he was asking me about what I do and all that sort of stuff. And at that point in time, I was doing dressage with one of the horses at a very high level, and it got to a point with this particular horse that every time I got into a championship situation, I would forget my dressage test. So check this out, how annoying, completely infuriating was this. So qualifying rounds, fine. All the months and months and months, all these qualifying rounds that went on, absolutely fine. Never forgot a dressage test once. Warm-up class at the competition, never forgot the dressage test. The championship, when I'm already up there, I'm in the top 10, and the dressage test, woo, off it goes.
Where am I?
Into the And he said the one thing that I will never ever forget in my life, because it infuriated me for days. And he just dangled a carrot and then cleared off and left me to think about it for a week. And he said to me, "What have you got to gain from forgetting that dressage test?" And when you hear something and then you play it back, did he just say what I thought he said? What have I got to gain from forgetting that dressage test? And I was, well, what do you mean? I don't gain anything. That's the whole point. I've just chucked it all out of the window by forgetting this stupid dressage test that was a whole 3.5 minutes long or whatever it was, or 6 minutes, whatever. And then he just sort of went, You just have a think about that and tell me what you think next week. Well, I was spewing, absolutely spewing about this whole thing. Like, what was he talking about? He just knew what he was talking about. I'm just, the whole thing. But then it dawned on me, that what I was gaining from forgetting that dressage test, if you like, although it was a sort of play around with words, as I was actually not winning that competition. And that was the ultimate bit. And when we started to dig a lot deeper into that, we actually plucked out that it was a fear of success. And that your mind can play such crazy tricks on you, can't it? In so many different ways, because in every ounce of my actual physical being, I wanted to win that test. I wanted to win that competition. I wanted to win that championship. But what was going on in my subconscious mind was a whole different story. And that was the effect that it was having, because at that point, your subconscious mind then takes over the physical body, but you're not aware of it.
Wants to keep you in your comfort zone.
Exactly. And it was partly to do, and the weird things that then happened on the back of that, because he did a lot of hypnotherapy with me, and we did a lot of closed eyes work and all sorts of things. And the weird things that came up in that situation, like my dad used to say something to me, if anything went wrong, like when I was out riding the ponies or whatever, he'd go, "Oh, cronky donkey," or, he'd just make some daft joke, as my dad always did. But and I always thought it as a joke, but somewhere deep inside my subconscious, I stored that. And then, my pony was amazing that I had. He just used to wipe the board and win everything. It was fantastic. And it got to a point where my friends used to say, when we used to go to, "Oh God, what are you doing here? Oh, we're not going to win anything, are you? You're just going to win everything." And it was banter, and they didn't mean anything by it. But in my subconscious, I stored all that. And differently, as a case of, maybe
negative.
Maybe they wouldn't like me anymore. Maybe we're not going to be friends anymore if I keep winning, all those sorts of things. Nobody was ever horrible to me. But the weird thing was, when we went through this whole process of closed eye business, so he got me to literally physically ride a dressage test, closed eye, you know, the whole thing, go through the whole dressage test before the next time we went out in this training. And my fiance at the time, he said, I fell asleep on the sofa on like leaning on him. And he said, and all of a sudden he said, your legs were going like this, like you were kicking a horse. And he said, like going through the whole thing again in my sleep. So that was the power of it. And then when I went out to the competition, the first girl that turned up when we unloaded the horse off the horse box, there was the one girl, one of my friends who I hadn't seen for like 20 years. And what was the first thing that she said to me? Oh my God, what are you doing here? We might as well all go home now.
Yeah.
And I was literally like, you know, it just absolutely rooted me to the spot. And I rang Jules and I was like, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah, what just happened to me?
The universe challenging me and everything else.
I was just about to say that, you know, I'm a massive believer in the whole universe and everything else. And it's definitely, that one was like, hang on, Justina, you need to remember, look, exactly what you've gone through. There's an example. Yeah, you need to learn to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and some people, you know, it's not just a sporting perspective and what's happened, you know, maybe something's happened in your childhood or whatever, but something can happen in your business, can't it? You know,
it can affect all aspects.
And, you know, and I think that's another reason why a coach is so good, because somebody looking from the outside can often spot these things.
Yeah.
You know, if all of a sudden you're starting to make excuses about not doing something, there's always an excuse or something going wrong there. They can, right, okay, we pick up on that, wouldn't we, and start to dig a little bit deeper.
Definitely.
So it's definitely something we all really need. Just somebody from the outside looking in, isn't it? Essentially. Yeah. So
absolutely. 100%. Great story.
Anything else? Debbie Evans-Mill. My business is creative, but I'm not business minded. So I think a coach would help me, but my business has come from a hobby. Yeah, a lot of people do come from a hobby, don't they?
That's how I started it with mine.
Yeah, and you know, some of my businesses that I've got now, you know, they've come from a hobby as well. And Sarah says, I have a problem with winning or doing well, self-sabotage. Yeah, so again, is it a fear of success, Sarah? Do you feel like you have a bit of a fear of success?
I think that was a big thing for me in the early days. I you know, feared that so much, and I went really high up with my business so quickly within network marketing. And then I was suddenly up there, and I was like, and that's when things started to really go, you know, wrong for me. And then I started pulling this negativity around me, and that just brought negativity into me more. So people that weren't even negative in a normal fashion started becoming, you know, negative towards me, and it just snowballed, and it went, you know, on and on and on. And I think that's the kind of key to it, though. How your mindset is and how you're portraying yourself or putting yourself out there, that is affecting every single aspect. This dog.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm so sorry.
Sarah, is just exactly relatable to what Justina's just shared. It's exactly the same. You know, your fear of success is just your body, your subconscious mind, everything about you, just trying to keep you where you are. Everybody's just happier right where they are. Why are we happier where we are? You might think, well, no, I'm not happy where I am. I'll be happier when I've got a massive house and 5 cars and £1 million in the bank and no mortgage and my family. Well, that's all good and well to say that, and we all feel like that probably, but on a much, much deeper level, we're actually just happy to be where we are because it's all we've ever known.
Definitely. Yeah.
And even if that means you're struggling, you're in debt, you're about to lose your house, well, that's what you're used to, and that's what. So it's a challenge to get over that, but you can get over it 100%. But you've got to keep working on it, and you know, again, we've come back to mindset stuff again, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
It totally affects everything, and you know that I'm absolutely obsessed with it.
You lot, this is what we talked about yesterday. Mindset is something that you will always have to work on. And there you go, 2 days in a row, we're talking about it. Don't fear it. Don't be worried about it. Keep learning. Keep getting help on that as well. And just keep taking steps forwards, not backwards. You know?
Yeah.
Remember,
Definitely.
success will come if you take daily consistent action.
Yeah.
Right? It's not rocket science again. But people do self-sabotage because of the fear of success. And what does self-sabotage mean? They don't take daily consistent action.
No.
So it's quite easy to actually overcome that fear by taking daily consistent action and getting help.
No, and then you hide behind all the little, the nitty-gritty things, and you're saying, yeah, but I am doing the work here, I am doing that, but you're not doing that exact work that deep down is going to push your business forward. You've got it, and that goes back to having our tasks and stuff that we set ourselves. And the point that Fraser made, do the tasks that you hate most first. Have those as the ones that are done and dusted out the way, because actually it's often those tasks that are the tasks that's going to really make your business go in the right direction.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Sarah said, I make the excuse that I'd rather see or help others succeed. Yeah. I mean, you can...
That's fine. That's okay. You can build a massive business by helping others succeed. And what better way to go to bed at night, having a successful day, having, help other people become successful. So that's okay. Do that. Make that your passion, helping people.
Yeah. Probably just tweaking that with your mindset with it. Definitely. And then Debbie's just relayed a message from Tamara saying it's a very valid point made from Fraser. Debbie said she gets in her own way and make the excuses. We all do that.
Yeah. And
you'll always do that.
Yeah. And
exactly. And I was just about to say exact words, be aware of it.
Be aware of it, yeah. And when those challenges come along, if you've got that fear of success, of moving forwards, what happens when the first big challenge comes along? And that challenge could be, well, I want to hire a coach, but I just don't have the money for it. What happens? You give up. You say no. You hit a roadblock, you hit a brick wall, you don't try and find a way around it. And that's tragic when so many people give up at the first obstacle, or maybe the second or third, because they're giving up on a dream, You can overcome the challenges 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think we are about at our hour time point here. So I'm just checking if there's any more questions.
Just drop in the comments box, anyone who is watching live or the replay, what you found most valuable about tonight's session, would you?
Yeah,
that's very helpful, definitely.
Oh, we're happy if I could spell.
It's always there's a challenge you need to face.
Katie says, my biggest thing is confidence, which stops me taking some opportunities. Again, I guess a type of self-sabotage, because I'm not taking them. I can't fail. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I've just stop, Daniel.
I
didn't mean to. I went to look at a comment and it just flew up on me. Yeah.
It does. It opens it up, doesn't it? It opens up the volume.
I know. So
okay, guys.
Debbie's just said,
I think
knowing that. Oh, yeah. Sorry, she just said. Debbie said that knowing that I'm not the only one that thinks like I do.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Or most people certainly.
Yeah, and Sarah said it's strange because I have no problem with our property rental business, but with MLM, I have no confidence.
Again, that's down to your mindset, though, because it just goes to show that you can do it because you've got a property business, and it's that, again, I keep throwing it out there, but that's key with your mindset, because it's the way that you're looking at your MLM. And I think that the point where that will turn is when you decide where your vision is going with it, who you're marketing to, and why. Because without doing that, you're still seeing this as an MLM. And I know a lot of people in MLM see it as I can't think of the word, like a secondary thing. It's not as valuable as as a
it's like a sideline business, you know, little sideline business, isn't it? You know, that sort of thing.
And people do badmouth MLM. You know, you get it all the time. And so, again, it's fed in there. So even though you believe in it and you love it because you wouldn't do it otherwise, you've still got those messages in there. So it relates back to the story that Justina shared, and you really need to kind of pull that out and change that.
And bring it back to, bring it, absolutely, Danielle. Perfectly said. And don't think about it as an MLM. It's not an MLM. It's your business.
Your business.
It's your name above the door. And if you've got a property rental business, or if you've got a restaurant or whatever that you've put a lot of money into, then it is your business and it's your passion. Treat your business like that, and forget what the MLM company is. That's not the point. That's just the way that you monetize what you're doing. You're much bigger than that. You are really much more important than that. And that's the way to look at it. And I think
as well with the whole, MLM side of things, if you do take yourself aside of it and see the MLM as a partner that you're working with, and again, brand yourself completely differently, that also could possibly change your mindset with doing it. And also then it gives you the opportunity to say, if you weren't happy with the MLM, the beauty of multi-level marketing is there are lots of companies out there, so you can chop and change. If you suddenly decide this isn't the company for me any longer, it's okay to change. But you've got your brand, so you can do it with whatever you want and just adapt it. I've done a few different MLM companies, but not everybody knew the brand had changed necessarily because the brand was me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that if you look at any of the big leaders in MLM, if you look back at their history, or if you speak to them or you hear them speaking on stage, whatever, they have changed businesses multiple times. So don't ever think that you're completely stuck in one. But the key thing here is if you have developed you as a brand, like Dan said, you can change between these companies and nobody would necessarily even know. So, that is fantastic. Tamara said, making the plan and putting it into format and brainstorming. We're going to talk about planning and things tomorrow, I think. So the plan and the action plan.
We just seem to go off on a whim every night. So we have a structure we work off, but again, it always comes back to mindset or changes it round. But I think it's working. It's getting people that clear vision. So definitely,
and it's early stages.
Not really scripted, right? This is just three people with experience talking about what they're passionate about, and if that helps people, and if we go off on tangents, that's great. I think that's better. We're not robots, and neither are these guys that we're talking to. So it's brilliant.
I think you learn more this way. I think it's the way our brains are programmed. You're much more. You're going to learn more from a relaxed, confident conversation rather than going somewhere and you're literally sitting there trying to take notes, and then it refers back to what you said earlier, Fraser, and you wake up in the morning, you're like, what was it talking about? Like, whereas we're adding it with stories, so there's a relatable side there. So I think it's a good way to learn.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose really from a structure perspective for us, it's the first couple of days that are the mindset, the bit of nitty gritty, and then that's the sort of structure, the mindset, and then now we're going to get into the nitty gritty for the rest of the week, and the actual make your action plan. Start to make, and get going, and some different tools and things that you can use to just get the most out of everything. So hopefully we will be on to the next stage. Well, we will be on to the next stage tomorrow.
Well, hopefully,
we will be.
I think my mind starts off onto another tangent now. I think fatigue is starting to kick in. So I think we'll wind that up.
Yeah. Poor Danielle. 20 to 11 for Danielle.
Hey, when's Kelly coming?
Kelly is flying now. She's literally on the plane now. I have spoke to her and I've asked her to jump on one of the nights. So she will be on. She's massive on mindset, is Kelly, and she's done lots of work on procrastination. I can't even say it. And she's been a massive help to me actually, because that has always been, and so it's always good to know your flaws and your faults, because then you can obviously work on them. So that was always massive for me, procrastination. I always put things off, leave it at the bottom of the pile so I can't see it. So she's been a key kind of help with me on that.
And if you're wondering who we're talking about, Kelly is
Kelly's my
our
sister.
So yeah, another one that was in the same MLM as well, but she's had some fantastic business since too. So it would be awesome if she can come on to another brain to pick.
I know.
So,
yes.
Fantastic. Cool. Right then, guys.
Right. Yes. Off to bed. Good night.
Bye. See you soon.
Good night.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye.